Reddit fresh. Would I be an idiot if I uninvite my sister's boyfriend to my wedding? My partner, female 27, and I are getting married in August. We're having a small, immediate family-only ceremony, no fuss, on a weekday, spending a few days in the area, and then on the Saturday having a big party back home with all of our family and friends. By immediate family, I mean literally my parents and sisters and my partner's parents, sister and her fiancé, so 4 people per family. However, my older sister has now invited her boyfriend. They've been dating officially since November, but have known each other for about a year at this point. They're in a long-distance relationship, and I have never met this man. Not in person, not online, nothing. My side of the family are getting accommodation/an Airbnb around the week of the wedding, since it's a rural wedding a bit far away from where they live, and we want to make a holiday of it. And now there's talk of him coming and staying in this Airbnb, not to the ceremony but to this mini holiday. Neither me nor my partner have been asked or consulted. It's just talking like this is decided and happening. Neither my sister or her boyfriend are planning on taking annual leave for this, and are planning on remote working during this holiday. I called my mom to ask her to talk to my sister about it. Both my partner and I are uncomfortable with someone we've never met being around on our wedding day, even if he doesn't come to the ceremony. We invited just family for a reason, and if we were expanding the guest list out, there are some friends we'd have rather invited. This is why we're having a big party on another day, so we can invite everyone. My sister already invited him to the party, and we're happy for him to come. Feels like a more appropriate situation to meet him for the first time. My mom said not to get worked up over it. My sister wants to celebrate her relationship too, but she'll talk to her about it. I feel dismissed and am wondering if I'm being mean. I can't control this guy if he does want to come to the same area and have a bit of a holiday before the party. He and my sister live abroad, but I feel like her needs and wants are being placed over mine. Would I be the idiot if I asked him not to come? TL. DR. My sister has invited her new boyfriend to my 8-guest wedding without asking. You're the idiot. You don't get to control if someone is in your area during your wedding. The only thing you can control is who shows up to the actual wedding. It is incredibly mean to say that your sister can't invite her partner to stay in the same area as your wedding. If he's not going to the ceremony, why do you think you get to dictate where this man is? How is the idea of him being in the same town going to ruin your wedding in any way, shape, or form? You're the idiot. You say he's not coming to the wedding itself. Are you also mad that other people will be in the area, or just the ones who have let you know that they will be existing? I see a bigger problem with him being invited to the reception party, but you say you are fine with that. You just don't want him to exist while you are physically in the act of getting married, even if it is in a completely different location. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my older brother that I, male, 50, don't want to share a room with his son, male, 23, at our mother's house during Easter weekend? I'm going home for Easter to see my mother who lives in Pittsburgh. I live about 3 hours away from her. Normally I drive there on Saturday morning, stay the night and leave after an Easter Sunday brunch. My brother, who lives in Atlanta, is coming to see her, as are his 2 sons who are in their 20 ES. One of his sons, my nephew, is married. He got married last June, and the other nephew is single. It's a big deal for all of us to see her, since Pittsburgh isn't really near any of our homes. He has to fly in, and so are his children. My mother has a 4-bedroom home, and it has her room, 2 rooms with queen beds and 1 room with a twin. There is also a finished basement, but it doesn't have sleeping arrangements, a non-pull-out couch, but does have an air mattress. My brother told me, my 26-year-old son is married now. He's going to take the bedroom you normally sleep in with the queen with his wife. You can share the twin bedroom with my other 23-year-old son. He's my nephew. I'm taking the other queen's bedroom with my wife. I told him that honestly I didn't want to do this. He was upset. He didn't understand why I'm making such a big deal. Told him I'm 50 years old. I always slept in the same queen bed for years. His son got married last year and now it's some kind of change because they are married and I'm single. In years past, his kids would sleep in the twin beds. I'm not sure if other single people have felt this way, but it's like you are on the lower rank of the totem pole if you aren't married. For years and years, in my teens, 20s, and even 30s, I was always the guy sleeping on couches or air mattresses for others because I was the single guy. I'm an uncle now. I certainly can armchair psychologist this one and call it ego or hubris, but I'm not sleeping in a room with my nephew. I snore like a freight train and do not sleep well with others. Noises put me off. I sleep with a white noise machine. I have been sleeping alone for 30 years as a single guy. He's not understanding this and saying I'm being selfish. I'm explaining back that I'm the uncle here, and I'm no longer his 18-year-old kid brother that is subjected to sleeping like this. His son and daughter-in-law can sleep in twin beds, and his 23-year-old son can use the air mattress in the basement. I can see both perspectives here. I think there's something to be said about being the older uncle and treated with a bit more respect and not maligned because I'm single and not married. Edited to add, and causing some confusion, the bedroom with twin beds has 2 twin beds, not 1. Everyone sucks here. Maligned? Really? You realize that a twin bed is meant for 1 person, a queen for 2 rights? So it would make sense that a couple would take the larger bed. I do get your point, absolutely. But are you really gonna die on this hill? Is it worth it? Why can't you take a twin room by yourself and the nephew can have the air mattress downstairs? Or here's an idea, get a hotel room. You're the idiot. It's not that you're the low rank on the totem pole. It's that you don't get a queen-sized bed all to yourself when an adult married couple could share it. Either share the room with twin beds with your other nephew, take the air mattress in the basement, or get a hotel room. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my kids that their younger siblings' rules are different because I learned from them? When I first had kids, I was one of those parents that had a no dating until age 16 inches rule. It was partially cultural, but I thought it would allow my kids to be more mature and go about it more safely because they'd be older. I didn't really take into account that my kids were going to be in school all day, 5 days a week, what technology would be, or even just that development doesn't have some kind of set age. The rule ended up creating an environment of secrecy, and the real rule became, just don't let dad find out, which is the exact opposite of what I wanted. It created far more problems for everyone, got my oldest into preventable situations they shouldn't have been in, and required my youngest to lie to herself and to me for trying to follow it. I realized that I needed to change my opinion. More than anything, I was trying to keep them safe, and having a hard and fast rule was doing the opposite. My youngest 2 have a wide age gap from the oldest, so when they got to the age, I decided to not have a hard minimum, but to foster open communication so that there could be reasonable supervision if things came up. My son ended up going on his first date at 13, seeing a movie while his mom and his friend's mom tagged along. My oldest 2 found out and were furious. They're claiming that I got permissive and are allowing the younger kids to get away with things they would never have been allowed to do. Which I guess is true, but it's not because I got lazy or gave up. It's because I realized that my approach with them was a mistake, and now I'm trying to learn from it, which made them more angry that I used them as guinea pigs and said that I'm favoring the younger kids. We've been arguing all day and now they're dragging my siblings into this and it's a whole thing. No idiots here. But you need to talk to your oldest too. You need to understand that on their side, they are seeing that the strict dad that they had was capable of being an understanding parent, but for some reason didn't do it for them. You're owning up for it. But they still got the shorter end of the deal. Be more empathy towards them. You're not an idiot for improving. You're the idiot. You knew you were going to handle this differently from your older 2 children, and you should have talked to them first, knowing this would get back to them. You should have sat them down and explained your decision to them. Hell, even apologized for your past mistakes with them. Their guinea pig comment should drive the message home. It was wholly justified. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for getting my daughter an apartment versus letting her move back in? My female 45, daughter Mallory, female 24, got married 3 years ago. She has 2 children, 2 and 6 months. Recently, her husband revealed he's been cheating on her and is leaving her for another woman. They rent a house, but due to my daughter having no credit at the time of moving in, only his name is on the lease. He is giving her 30 days to move out. Mallory is understandably distraught. I've been doing all I can to comfort her. She asked if she could move in with me, explaining she'd have the kids every other week. She assured me she isn't looking for childcare, Both kids are in daycare. She offered to pay rent and chip in on groceries. Now I have always raised my kids to be independent. I didn't kick them out at 18, but I did encourage them to start doing things on their own. Mallory moved out at 19, moving in with her soon-to-be ex. My sons are in college and plan to move out after graduating from college. They're both freshmen at the same university. I asked Mallory how her credit score was. She said she could reasonably rent. I offered to pay the first month, last month, and a deposit, along with 6 months' rent. She said it's not about the money. She's not wealthy by any means, but she does well for herself, and her husband is already agreeing to give her money weekly, even before they go to court. She just wants emotional support. I told her I could do that with her living in her own place. She started to cry and said she just needs her mom right now. I told her she was going to be okay. My sons are pissed with me. They pointed out I have plenty of room, that Mallory has offered to pay rent. She's also not the type to shrug off responsibility for the kids, and the toddler is well behaved. To me, that doesn't matter. They called me heartless. Am I the idiot? You're the idiot. Moving in with you for a few months while she recovers is not going backwards. And maybe if you weren't so hung up on pushing her to be independent, she wouldn't be married and divorced with 2 kids by age 24. Might be time to rethink your priorities. No idiots here. I understand where everyone here is coming from. But having 2 kids, 2 and under, in the house every other week is a huge ask. I do like the idea of a temporary situation. Give her a month or 2 and then help her find an apartment. She clearly needs the support, and from what you've said, she's never actually been independent, so she's likely going to need some help. Additionally, she likely needs to build her credit history a little bit. Living with you for too long might actually hurt her future. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my sister she's fat? I grew up in a very abusive household. I graduated high school at 17 so I could move out the day I grabbed my diploma. I couch surfed for a couple of months until I turned 18 and got my first apparent at 18 with my boyfriend. We worked minimum wage jobs, working 60+ hours a week so my BF and I could afford rent. When we moved in, we only had a bed, a small TV, my BF's Xbox, and toiletries. Nothing else. Over the next 2 years, we began saving up money to get our first car. After getting a car, we applied to a job that paid more for fewer hours. We get raises every few months and profit sharing every quarter. We slowly began to update our apartment. Now, the only thing we were missing was a couch. The couch was donated to us by our apartment. Someone got evicted from their unit and left everything in there. The office, knowing we don't have a couch yet, gave us the couch. After all of the upgrades, we decided to start hosting D&D at our house. Just me, my BF, the DM, my brother-in-law, and my sister, who weighs a whopping 375 pounds. My sister couldn't fit into any of our chairs, so she sat on our couch. We originally didn't have a problem with this until we noticed our couch began to divot in the middle, and the bar that held the futon together underneath started to bend. My BF and I agreed we'd buy her a chair that's built for her weight. The chair just came in, and we had D&D on Friday. We showed the chair to my sister, hoping she would be grateful. We paid over $100 for this. We're not rich, so we had to dip into our savings to pay for this. My sister got mad at us, accusing us of calling her fat. We tried to calm her down, but trying to calm her down just made her scream more. My brother-in-law was telling us to look at what we started. I have to go home to this. You got this couch for free, just buy another one, etc. With my sister screaming in one ear and my brother-in-law talking in the other, I lost it. I said, summarizing, "Everyone, shut the F***K up. You are completely right. Your fat A**S is breaking our couch. You can lose weight easily but choose to stay a fat slob. This is a problem you can literally run from, but you chose to be fat and collect taxpayers' money to stay home and eat more and gain more weight. Until you lose weight under 250 pounds, you're not allowed on our couch again." I admit it was a bit much, and I should have a better control on my feelings. I feel bad for saying what I said on Friday, but it felt good to finally say it. Last night, my brother-in-law was texting me, saying my bullying caused her to have a mental breakdown, and I should apologize. I told him I'd apologize when she apologized for bending our couch. Am I the idiot for calling my sister fat by buying her a chair that supports her weight? Everyone sucks here. You were not the idiot until your outburst. There was no need to scream about taxpayers' money and calling her a fat slob. Just clearly stating that she is damaging your furniture and that is not fair on you was enough. The suggestion of you buying another couch would be enough to kick them out for disrespecting your property. You stated you grew up in an abusive household, so her weight, mental health, and eating habits may have been due to this. You certainly didn't help here, not the idiot. You obviously shouldn't have screamed at her, but you wouldn't have if she hadn't started the discussion already full of accusing you. I don't believe you should let someone destroy your furniture just to not hurt her feelings. Obesity is a very serious problem, and generally should be addressed before it kills the individual.